I guess he can take the thing where I was just going, hold the fall.
All right.
And now that's going to be it.
Probably.
Probably, yeah. This is Twin Stick Radio, episode 24 for the week of June 25th, 2018. I am one of your hosts, Trey Higgins, and I'm joined by Chris Rodriguez and Justin T. Lopez.
I'm always the second name.
Yeah,
it's every week I'm waiting for
it's the order of founding.
It is the order.
Also,
of founding.
it follows the order that we put things in on there.
On there being the board.
The board, yeah. I guess this is not a visual. This is not a visual medium. Yeah, so just a heads up, everyone. We have a couple of small changes that are coming to Twin Stick Radio starting this week. So pardon our dust because I have not done show notes in a really long time, and I realize that I am not as skilled as Mr. That's what I said.
Mr.
Chris
I'm gonna make a
Rodriguez.
D&D character named Mistifer.
I like it. I like that. Mistifer.
His racial trait is he Misty Steps.
How's everyone's week been?
You ask that question every week.
Yeah,
you know,
because
and we
usually-
always
look,
give like the same like.
Here's the deal. Oh God, I can't say here's the deal. That's
Yes, you can.
Here's the deal. I say it at the beginning of the show in hopes that we get like the weird off the wall story that I know everyone probably has from the week out of the way right at the beginning, so it doesn't come up in the middle of something else. So you ask the question at the beginning so we can go off the rails for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then I have a really easy way to get us back on the rails.
Gotcha.
It's
See,
a
last
strategy.
week somehow we ended up on a 40-minute Destiny conversation.
I'm trying to think. I don't think anything interesting happened to me this week. Although I'm probably wrong because I forget things very, very, very oftenly.
I feel like working all the time gets rid of all my fun, crazy stories.
Well, you can have fun, crazy stories at ZDT.
Nah.
Nothing fun. It's a theme park.
Yeah,
Everybody else
is it
has
not
fun.
like a restaurant? I've heard weird ass stories from people that work in restaurants.
I'm sure
Like-
whenever I was an employee, like lower
Sure.
level employee, I had tons of
okay.
crazy stories.
Okay.
But now I'm like management, so it's
Yeah,
like
talking to
well,
people that work at
our
restaurants.
numbers are looking great today.
Yeah, talking to people that work at like restaurants, they say, "Have you ever seen that movie Waiting?" And I go, "Yeah." It's like that's pretty much exactly how it is working in a restaurant. It's like, really? Like it's that fucking weird, and everybody fucks everybody else. They're like, "Yeah, pretty much."
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
Nice. Yeah, that doesn't happen to management.
No, nope, it does not.
No fucking going on in
Depends on,
management.
Well-
it depends on where you manage at.
Yeah, it does depend on where you manage at.
Ooh, juicy.
Well, not really.
Dry?
What?
If you guys like what we do, we are a podcast about video games. We record weekly, and we're usually up on Fridays. You can subscribe to our show on iTunes or the Google Play Store or most random podcast apps except for Stitcher because Stitcher sucks. Also, don't listen to Stitcher because they degrade sound quality really badly. We start this show.
As Trey pushes up his nerdy podcast
They
glasses.
do. Have you listened to shows on Stitcher before?
No.
They sound like fucking garbage.
I told you guys before, I don't even listen to this show.
That's fair.
We start this
was there.
show with the same segment every week. Chris, what are you playing?
Destiny, and I told yesterday I was yelling to Daniel about Destiny, like just audibly yelling over the mic. And Trey woke up. I was like, "Man, I really hope I didn't wake you up," because I was literally yelling about Destiny. Because he was like, "Man, I'm really excited." And sorry, I'm not mocking Daniel. Daniel, if you're listening to this, I'm not.
No, go
mocking
ahead and
you.
mock Daniel.
Yeah, I was like, "Man, I'm really excited for Forsaken. It's really going to change Destiny for the better." And it's like, you know what? That's awesome, and it's cool that Forsaken is changing Destiny. However, it's not okay. It's not okay that Bungie can, in a second time in a row, release a game, and a year later, quote unquote, fix the game. That's not okay. It's not okay to do that.
It's like a weird pattern. Like,
It's
why-
right. So
why
does
not
that
just
mean
have a good game when
right?
it first comes
Exactly.
out?
So does that mean when Destiny 3 comes out, we're gonna have to wait a year before it's actually quote unquote good? That's not fucking okay. And then he goes, "Yeah, but then PvP is gonna get better." It's like PvP is not wrong. PvP is not broken. Just because people don't like playing Destiny PvP like a lane-based kind of co-op shooter, they want the whole Halo feel where they can just go run around with a shotgun and just fucking, triple kill one team. That doesn't mean Destiny's PvP is broken. That just means people don't like to play it. So number one, you don't have to fix Destiny's PvP because it's nothing's wrong with it. And then he goes, well, all of a sudden, and he starts naming all these things. It's like everything you're saying is exactly what streamers are saying, and they they're not wrong. They have opinions. However, what they think is wrong and broken in Destiny, nothing's broken. It's just they don't like the way Destiny works.
Right.
It's completely different.
They want Destiny to be like a different game.
Yeah, basically.
They want to make their living off of Destiny.
Right.
You can't do it right now.
You can't do it right now. And you know, that's a valid argument and an opinion. However, that does not mean Destiny's broken or it needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
He goes, well, what would you do? It's like, here we fucking go. Number one, it took Daniel and I an hour to find random people to do just public events with. Just public events, because we were trying to grind for faction tokens. But it took us an hour of running around trying to do public events, and nobody was spawning into our instances. We can't be the only two people in America playing Destiny at 12 o'clock on a fucking Wednesday.
It might be.
It's fucking impossible. Like, where the hell is everybody?
And it's the summer.
Yeah, and it's summertime. And so I told Daniel, number one, fix that. Number two, fix your fucked up progression system. Warmind's been out for what, 4, 5, 6 weeks?
God, yes, 6
We're
weeks.
not even, there's people that still aren't even at max level.
Like you.
Like me.
Like me.
Seriously,
And
your fucking progression should not, your progression system should not, reflect activities done. It should reflect how much time you've put into this game. Daniel's put in a shit ton of time. Guess what? I've put in more, and I'm still not at freaking max level in Warmind. But he is, because he does the right activities. Again, it's the same thing, same conversation Trey and I have had millions of times with Destiny 1. You can't keep fucking putting progression, character progression to one fucking thing. Because that is limiting what players can do, and it's fucking stupid. If it wasn't, I would have been at 385 maybe 2 weeks ago. And that's how progression should work, is the time you put into a game should reflect your progression system. Because guess what? ESO does it, WoW does it, Division does it, Overwatch doesn't really have a progression, but all these other MMOs do it. That's how it's done. You can go do whatever the fuck you want to do. Diablo is a perfect example. You can go do whatever the hell you want to do, and you're consistently progressing your character. Always progressing, always progressing, always progressing. In Destiny, once your weekly milestones are done, whoop, you're done. Unless you have 6 friends who are playing Destiny at the same exact time you are, which God forbid that never fucking happens.
Well,
with
and
us.
everyone has 2 or 3 hours to set aside
to do the raid. That's what you have to do. You're done with weekly milestones, and let's fucking weekly milestones. Hey Bungie, stop giving me 4 fucking grenade launchers out of 4 fucking powerful engrams. It's ridiculous. That is an absolute ridiculous and algorithm you have, or whatever the fuck it is. It's fucking ridiculous.
What I did this week, because last week was so bad for me, is I decided I was going to open each one at a time. So I would get one, go to the tower, open it up, then I would go back and do my next one.
Did that help?
Go back to the tower. Yeah, I got all different things.
See, that's nice.
And let's be real for a second. It is RNG.
It's
that
100%
there is
right, sure.
but there is like that superstitious side of me
Sure.
that was like, that worked. I'm doing
It's the
that every
same
week.
reason. It's the same reason Daniel waits to open his bright engrams till he has 3. The exact same reason, because he thinks there's like this thing, like if you open one, the next one has a better chance of giving you an exotic, and the next one doesn't. But
Have they come out and said it doesn't?
No,
Because some things aren't.
Sure.
Some things aren't totally random. Like
Sure.
Apple, whenever they first brought like the shuffle option to shuffling your music, like some people didn't like it because they felt like, oh, I just heard this artist. How is it possible that I'm hearing that same artist right after
Spotify
that?
does the same thing.
So
I swear to
they-
God, if I shuffle Spotify, I hear Kiss like 4 times in a row.
Well, so they
It's
they
kind of
artificially it's random, but it's like they artificially do it to where it's like it's not so random.
Interesting.
But I
They'll
also-
try to find different music so that way it's shuffled, but it's not
I feel
completely
like-
random.
I feel like people are kind of dumb too, though, because like my mom used to say that. She would be like, "Oh, my iPod is on shuffle. Why am I hearing 2 Reba songs in a row?" Well, because out of your 300 songs, 200 of them are Reba.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah,
of course,
that's fair. Yeah,
statistically speaking, you're going to listen to another Reba
Yeah.
song.
Right. But some algorithms aren't completely random. Like,
Sure.
I mean, you doing that might have helped you.
Anyway, and
It
then
feels like it did.
Anyway, so then I started naming off other things that like are legitimately broken in Destiny. Let's not even fucking start on escalation protocol and how Bungie thinks that should work.
Again.
And Daniel's like, yeah, no, yeah. And he's like, yeah, you're right. It's like, I'm not saying this to be right. I'm just saying, like, streamers, they don't understand. I don't think they understand video games. They just understand how they can use a video game
They
to make
understand their
money.
bottom line.
Right. They understand their bottom line. They don't understand how a video game is actually made, how it works.
Right.
Period.
Which is fine for them because
Sure,
that's what they do.
Sure, that is what they do, and that's their bottom line, and that's 100% okay. If you're trying to use, then, but if it's not working, then don't use Destiny as your bottom line.
Right.
Period.
Games should never be made strictly for the streamer.
But unfortunately, Bungie is making Destiny for the streamer.
Right.
Because Daniel's like, man, I'm really looking forward to random rolls. That started me again. I was like, Daniel, there are still people still playing Destiny 1 that haven't got the perfect roll for Imago Loop. And that's not okay. Mm-hmm. It's not okay that there's people still putting 2,000 hours into a game and never got the god tier weapons. That is not fucking okay. It's just not.
Because I mean, it's just I feel like Bungie is the first company that's been doing this, that has done this like in a noticeable way. But that community summit that they had, where it was mostly streamers.
Yeah, mostly.
And they're like, well, all these people wanted random rolls. I'm like, that's not your community, dude.
Sure.
That's like 1%. That's less than 1% of your
Yep.
community. And sure, if you go out in the wider community, I think you would have more people in favor of random rolls. But
To an extent.
But the problem is that you didn't even give the rest of the community a chance to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like a bunch of these changes that are coming to your game, they're just... my opinion wasn't taken into account.
Sure, yeah.
Like I saw someone on the fucking subreddit yesterday saying, man, Bungie, you should just go and change all the patrol lines because they're all lame and not funny. Just go and change the patrol, like
What?
the 10 seconds of dialogue that happened when you finish a patrol. And I was going to post this, but someone else posted this. But someone was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, at this point, why don't you just say, like, why don't we sum up every complaint that we have with Destiny 2 with the sentence, Bungie, make a new game?
Yep.
Like, are we really going that
Pretty
far
much.
in? I just don't understand why you cater a game to a community that hates it.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. And I also don't understand how there are other games out there like Fortnite and PUBG that, I'm sorry, only offer you one or two things to do.
And that's what you're okay with that.
And everyone's okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't understand how, like yeah, I have my problems with Destiny 2. But the things I like with Destiny 2 outweigh the things I don't like
Sure.
to a degree where I keep playing it. Because you
Sure.
know me, if a game doesn't like hook me right
Yeah,
away,
we'll-
I'll
we'll
fucking
stop.
drop it
Sure,
in 2
of
seconds.
course.
But I like this game enough to keep coming back to it. I don't understand why other games don't get this level of hate. Like, I just don't.
I think it comes down to the audiences that they target. Like Fortnite and PUBG are more targeted towards like a casual gaming audience, whereas like Destiny, whether Bungie regrets it or not, decided to tackle this loot grind system that hardcore gamers get really fucking mad about.
Sure,
Sure, yeah.
but a lot of the changes they made were made because that's what the Destiny community wanted.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why there's no random rolls, the reason why the grind isn't as intense.
The majority of the community wanted
Yeah,
it.
you have these people now that are bitching about heroic strikes, but they don't remember Nightfalls from Destiny 1.
Mm-hmm.
Heroic strikes are too hard. The Nightfalls in Destiny 1, if your party got wiped out, you were sent to orbit.
And
You
you
had
just-
to restart the activity.
Yeah.
There were
I mean,
no
you,
checkpoints.
you could make it all the way to the last boss and wipe, and you start over again.
That sounds terrible.
I remember Nightfalls taking us 2.5 hours because there were certain points where you had to do the whole pull mechanic from MMOs where you go in, somebody goes into a room and God forbid they don't die and they pull everybody through like
a tunnel or
yeah,
a,
you
like, bottleneck.
basically bottleneck enemies so you have a chance at fucking getting through this room. Like that was Nightfalls in Destiny 1 and it was fun, but it wasn't fun.
Right.
Well, but, like,
It wasn't
that was
fun
also-
you had to like not cheat the game, but you
No,
couldn't play
you-
the game. I guarantee they didn't I guarantee they didn't make it to where you have to like, pull everyone
But
through this tiny
Yeah.
But
bottleneck.
you know the thing about the Nightfalls though is that they were hardcore in-game content. I
Yes.
didn't do them, but I didn't feel like I had to do
Right.
them. If they had Nightfalls that were as hard as the ones in Destiny 1 were now, I would be missing a milestone every week.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be getting progression. It didn't feel that way with Destiny 1. So it's hard because I'm getting to the point where it's just like I want to separate myself more from just the wider gaming community. I'm really just super tired of people like constantly
Sure.
complaining and bitching about stuff. Like I looked up some guy the other day who listed like this huge rant on Reddit about Destiny 2. I went through his comments and found his PlayStation ID, and I looked up, and he had 600 hours in the game.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, dude, I don't love most things after 100 hours. Like, of course you're not happy, but go play
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
It's that abusive relationship mentality.
It is an abusive. That's the way video games and people are. Except and where in abusive relationships, it could be really hard to get out of. It's very easy to take that controller and set it down, but people won't do it, and it's because that's where it comes to like. I mean, we can get into this talk later, but it's an addiction. Like that guy has an addiction to Destiny, and since that addiction is not being fulfilled, he's complaining about it. Period.
Sure, Destiny 1's still there, though.
Sure,
how I-
Destiny 1 is still
That's how
there.
I feel about most people on Reddit. Like
yeah.
most
Oh, yeah,
ranters on Reddit. Like I have no problem just like scrolling through, but
Sure.
I've never commented or upvoted or on anything. I just check things out. But I'm not gonna get into some big argument about what needs to be changed in
Sure.
a game over Reddit
And,
to make myself feel better.
That's our weekly Destiny rant.
Yep.
Always.
Get it out of the way
always.
early.
Also playing Borderlands 2, which I'm sure you might talk about more because that's probably all you played this week.
That's what I mostly played.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then Trey he didn't make fun of me, but he saw me playing it and he walked in the living room and laughed at me. I bought I bought WWE 2K18 because it was like $20.
How was it?
It's WWE.
Right.
It's I made a character and he's cool and it's fun going through the thing. And
What do your characters look like? Like you make a character in WWE. What does
His
look
guy looks like he saw a ghost and his face got stuck that way.
the fate the
Do you
way
make them look funny? Or
No,
you-
no. I
No?
make him look pretty damn serious. Like my guy's wearing they're called tights, but they're full pants.
Okay.
And I've got kick pads on, knee braces. He looked like you see him walk out and it's like, oh, that guy's cool looking. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I take these things very seriously when it comes to WWE. So I've been playing that. It's a lot of fun. I have what's the best way to say this? Because I'm not a mark, but I know way too much about the business mentality, and so a lot of the storylines that they're throwing in WWE, it's like that's fucking ridiculous. Like, come on, guys,
That's not canon.
This is-
you
you gotta write this better.
Not necessarily. Yeah, you can write this better. It's not necessarily that it's not canon, but it's like that you make a superstar, and most people that are playing this game are me. Right? They're not marks. They're not people that are like, oh, I believe Braun Strowman can really flip an 18-wheeler. He can really do it. Like that's a mark. Braun Strowman cannot flip a fucking 18-wheeler. That's all part of the story. But you guys like me who know the business, and so you make a superstar and you have this whole backstage element where you talk and you're kind of
Do
planning stuff.
interviews and stuff,
Yeah,
yeah,
but like there's no, it's all kayfabe. It's like you're actually just playing through a story, and it's like, this is fucking ridiculous. Just let me get. Everybody knows it's not real, so if you're making me play this backstage element, let's freaking take off the freaking red veil and say this isn't real. You know what I mean?
No, they would never do that.
No, of course not. It's
You're
freaking wrestling.
You're
It's-
playing the backstage, but not really. It's like
Sure.
it's the video that comes up on the screen for everybody.
Exactly.
You know?
It's like, so a perfect example is I'm playing this game and blah blah blah, and all of a sudden like I'm drafted to Raw and I'm doing this thing, and then like they don't give me the choice, but all of a sudden I have to go against Triple H and side with Daniel Bryan. It's like, but I don't want to do that, and it's like, but I know this is fake, so why are you like the choices you're giving my guy to say things? It's like, it's so fucking stupid. Anyway,
I would
it's
really
just-
like to see BioWare make the next WWE
That would be awesome.
game.
I used to love playing those.
and this one's actually a lot of fun. It's
Yeah.
a lot less complicated than like last year was, and I'm enjoying it. It's cool.
Anytime I would make a character growing up, mine would always look like I would try to make them like superheroes.
Super Saiyan?
No, they would just look like really weird, like because sometimes you get to add like wings to people, and like so I made like this like angel looking guy who had like a blindfold over his
Sure,
eyes.
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, is there a place where you can type in a backstory?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I would like go like all
So-
in on these
So
backstories.
there is one huge complaint. We'll move on. Everything customizable for your creator wrestler is locked behind a paywall.
Oh.
Everything. So
That gets sort of like all the fun.
it really does. It really limits how you can make your guy look, and everything is locked behind loot boxes. So as you progress in the story, they give you free loot boxes and unlock shit. And as you progress, you get this currency where you can buy loot boxes. But legitimately, and there's hundreds of items that you can customize your character with, all locked behind a paywall.
God, why do you even charge for a game like that?
It's
Why not make that just a free to play game?
It's just fucking crazy. It's crazy. I booted it up and it's like, I can't even choose like a hairstyle because it's locked behind a thing. And then even though I wanted that hairstyle, I can't just buy it. You buy a loot box and there's a chance you can get it. But there's hundreds of items.
Can you buy currency? Like,
Yeah, you can use real money, but there's hundreds of items. Yeah. So a loot box giving you the one item that you want, that's just unbelievable. I saw that and I was like, oh my god! Now I get the NBA 2K18 fiasco. I get it now. That's fucking ridiculous. So hopefully 2019 doesn't do that.
They just had to bring it to wrestling for you to understand.
I know, man. It's fucking crazy. Anyway, Justin, what are you playing?
So you touched on it. We played Borderlands 2 for Tu's Plays. And that was my first time playing Borderlands 2.
It's a good game.
And I personally never really got into the first Borderlands. I played it.
It's garbage.
I played it. I mean, a decent amount.
Not that bad.
It is so bad. The first Borderlands is so bad.
But like we had fun. We played it for a couple hours.
It was a lot of fun.
I really
game.
like the Claptrap. Handsome Jack is a really cool character.
Are you guys playing what are you playing?
The story?
Borderlands 2.
Yeah, we're playing Borderlands 2.
What hero are you playing?
Maya, the siren.
Oh, okay. I just got confused because you said Claptrap.
Oh no,
and Handsome Jack.
Claptrap as a character in that game is really.
Yeah.
He's really. Both those characters are. I
really like the way they're written.
Yeah,
like,
I still think Handsome Jack is the best character ever written in a video game. I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, because I've always heard people really like the character of Handsome Jack for years now. And I never played it, so I didn't really fully understand. But now that I'm playing it, it's like, oh, like I get it. Like he's kind of Joker-esque in the sense of like he's comedic, but he's very like sadistic as well.
Sure, it's a guy that you really hate because he's just a bad guy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I don't ever want him to go away. You know what I mean?
He's just like he's so grounded as a villain. Like I feel like you have like these video game villains like Sephiroth and Bowser,
sure, yeah.
who are just like these out of the fucking. They're just wild. They're wild like creations that you can't like relate to in any real way.
Sephiroth and Bowser.
Yeah.
Like Handsome Jack is like he's just kind of a dude.
Yeah.
Like even later in the game, you're like, oh, you're not even really that special.
Yeah, and then that one, the pre-sequel kind of touches on it. But then if you play Tales of the Borderlands,
Which is Telltale's best game.
absolutely, it really touches a lot further into Handsome Jack's story and who he is, and it makes it again even more grounded and real as a character. And he's super awesome. He's just super cool as a character. Cool. Plus, Claptrap is hilarious.
Yeah, so I'm excited to play that more. We spent probably a good 15-20 minutes just doing the slot machines.
The slot machines and Moxies.
Yeah. I was like, well, this is what I'm doing. This is what the game has become for me.
It's like in fucking Pokemon Red and Blue and then Gold and Silver.
Yeah.
You could get lost in those like gambling.
The lottery stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, we also spent about 5 or 10 minutes deciding what color we're all going to be as a matching group of Vault Hunters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
That's clever.
It's fun. Aside from Borderlands 2, played more Rocket League. They have like the summer event going on. I finally spent money like after like my original purchase because they did a Jurassic World crossover thing.
Out of all the things that you could spend money on, you did Jurassic World.
They have a goal explosion. So you make a goal and there's some sort of like explosion that happens for flair.
It blows everybody back, yeah.
The explosion is a flame Tyrannosaurus Rex that comes out and makes that like
T-Rex noise.
the T-Rex noise. I was like, yes.
That was just like that. Steven Spielberg, please hire Chris to do your dinosaur night noises.
But I saw it and I was like, well, I'm finally going to do it. So $1.99.
That's it?
Yep.
You haven't even spent $1.99 on a game that you play every week?
I think I've spent at least $10 or $20 on Destiny 2.
No.
Have you really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've spent any money on Destiny 2.
I think like
other than like content.
I think I've only spent like $10 of my actual money. The other $10 was one of those like So you can connect your PlayStation account to like some Sony rewards thing. The more money you spend on it, it builds up points.
Yeah.
And you can trade in those points for a $10 card, and that's what I did and used
You just
that.
bought silver? Or?
Yeah, I bought silver and bought. It was during Dawning when I did that because during Dawning you had like 3 weeks to get shit. Now I don't give a fuck anymore, but that was at the time when I still cared.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I don't spend money in games once I buy them. I don't know.
I will if I really enjoy the game. Like, we've talked about this before. Marvel Heroes is the perfect
Yeah,
example.
but you didn't buy Marvel Heroes.
You're right. I did not buy Marvel Heroes, but I invested probably $200, maybe $300 into Marvel Heroes.
Does that eat you up that is gone?
Yeah, it did. But I mean, you know me. I don't.
Yeah, you've gotten over it.
Yeah, I got it. It does. It when it happened, I was like, man, I was irked hard for a good. That sucks, man. Like I put a good amount of people put more. Let's be 100% honest.
A console's worth of
money into a game. And that was over a couple of years, of course.
Right.
But yeah, I mean that goes to show you digital video games.
This is our future.
It's just fucking load of fucking crack. It's a racket. You know what I mean?
That's like my holdup of like I have no problem paying money for a game. And like I get to play the game, and even then I understand like if they wanted to, they could just shut it off.
Sure.
And that money's gone.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't usually spend like more money in a game for like the little microtransactions.
Yeah, I understand.
I think that's my holdup.
Yeah, I understand that. But yeah, that's like you said, that's the future of games.
I feel like if you're gonna spend that money on microtransactions, you have to like get to the place mentally where you can accept the fact that it'll go away.
Sure.
Or that this isn't real. Like I don't have this.
And I think I was at that point with Marvel Heroes. Like I accepted the fact that at some point in time this was going to go away, but not within the fucking 2 years of launch on PS4. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I mean it was within a year.
Yeah, I mean
I don't even think it hit a year on PS4.
Sure.
Because it had just come out on PS4 when I moved in with you last year.
Yeah, the game was only 4 years old, maybe 5 years old when it died. I mean, there's games that last 15 years before they go away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just
I still have a feeling they're going to bring them back in some capacity.
I don't. A gazillion's not. No.
Maybe. Well, no, maybe not that necessarily. But I just feel like Disney would want to shut something down.
Oh, sure. It's on your phone now. It's called Marvel. It's called Marvel Future Fight. Like it's fucking get out of here. Like
get out of here.
Anyway,
Trey.
Just Destiny, man. I haven't had a lot of time. I've also I've been saving up for that PS4 Pro, so I haven't had time to buy like a new game or anything. And
which PS4 Pro are you saving up for?
I thought the Days of Play one was a PS4 Pro.
The blue one is not a PS4.
It's not a Pro. That's the one that I thought about getting.
I don't know. It'll probably just be a black one. Like I'm fine with that. I like
get the
black
Kingdom Hearts
electronics. There's not a reason. I would rather someone who's actually a fan of Kingdom Hearts to get it and then to buy one.
Fair enough.
Also, I'd have to wait
until
5
January,
months, which is not happening because Forsaken comes out in 2.
Yep.
Do you have a 4K TV?
That's going to be my next purchase. So I'm going to buy a PS4 Pro, and then I found a decent. It's actually a pretty nice 4K TV with HDR, and it was like $350, and I think it was like 37 inches.
It's not
pretty
bad.
good.
It's not bad for just like a room. Like you're not getting it for like the living room or
Right.
anything.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to probably put it on my dresser.
Even the living room, my TV's a 60-inch in our living room. It still looks fucking huge in our living room.
It looks bigger
huge.
than 60 inches. And then after I get that TV, I'm going to get a Switch. So those are my summer purchases.
That sounds about like what I want to get in those orders too.
Yeah. Do you guys want to talk about the news?
Sure. Oh, damn it. I forgot the jingle.
What's the jingle?
Do the
Go
jingle.
for it.
It's Trey's news. Trey's news. Trey does the news. Dun.
I want to get a heavy metal version of that, and then we just play it every time.
Just scream out.
There you go.
Truck door.
I think I have like 5 items on the news this week. There's some other stuff on Baker's doesn't. Thank you.
I count 7.
There's 2 that are part of the same.
Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, these are meaty things, which is why I kind of narrowed it down. Also, I was on a time crunch, but I wanted to keep it short because I feel like these things are things that we're going to be able to talk about for a little while.
Hey Trey, you're doing the news today.
I am doing the news.
That's
this
something
is one
new.
of the changes that's coming to Twin Stick Radio.
So mind the dust.
Mind the dust. Number 1, in an interview at the Game Lab conference in Barcelona, Amy Hennig. I was like preparing for her last name and I fucked it up.
Off to a good start.
Amy Hennig of Uncharted fame confirmed to Eurogamer that she left EA in January, though she hasn't had a chance to officially announce her departure. Quote, I have not worked at EA since January, technically, legally. I get along with those people. I consider even the guys on the exec team friends. I never got the chance to announce that I'm not at EA, so I need to just pull off that Band-Aid at some point. But also, had nothing to announce. It makes it sound like I just went home, but I'm doing all this stuff, working on all kinds of things. End quote. According to Hennig, she is currently working independently after starting a new studio that she intends to keep smaller than 15 people. EA's Star Wars game, codenamed Ragtag, has, according to Hennig, been shelved, which I just stopped at according to Hennig.
According to Hennig.
So, yeah.
Cliffhanger.
That's what Amy Hennig is up to after the whole debacle with her Star Wars game.
Way to
Looks
go,
like she's
EA.
starting something.
Yeah, well, and also I saw that she wanted to focus on potentially some like VR games. And I was like, oh, that's a shitty
And the
way
internet
to...
audibly sighed.
Yeah.
You know what's like kind of fucked up about what's been happening in the current gen is that we have all of these like awesome people like Ken Levine, Marty O'Donnell, who wasn't a game developer but he was a composer. Now Amy Hennig, who worked on these huge franchises and built these awesome games that are like being forced out of the industry and starting independent studios and then working on shit
nobody
games.
cares about. Yeah.
Like Marty O'Donnell's game, like Golems or whatever. It's like, dude,
Nobody
come
cares.
on.
Yep.
Just make amends with Bungie and go back to making Destiny music.
Right.
Yep.
Like, come on. Ken Levine, I don't even know what the fuck he's up to now.
Apparently, I think BioShock is still a thing. I just don't know if 2K or Levine Studio, what's it called?
God.
I don't know if they're doing
Irrational?
it. Irrational. Yeah, I don't know if they're doing it. I know there's a rumored BioShock. We like a lot of people thought we'd see it at E3, but
No,
Yeah.
that game just started development.
is
There's
that
no
what it
way.
was? Okay.
Yeah, there's no way it was going to be at E3. But yeah, it's just kind of sad. All these people are being forced out of the industry.
It's true.
And then going for like the low hanging fruit of like
Yeah.
VR or like mobile games.
Well, I mean, I guess it's whatever they can get a hold of, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know where you got two sides of a coin where you've got guys like 2K and Rockstar who are going on record saying single player's not dead. Single player will never die. But then you see, on the other hand, all these amazing single player story writers just being thrown out of the industry. And you get new writers who are like WWE writers. They don't really understand how to write a good story. And then you get shit like fucking Battleborn.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? It's like, what?
I saw a quote about the Star Wars game that they were working on. I guess it was going to be in the same vein as the Uncharted series.
Sure.
And it was going to have like some comedic elements in it too. Like it seemed like the story was going to be
Well,
very enjoyable.
The original one that Amy Hennig was working on, she got put on, was going to be like the rebooted 1313.
It was like a heist story.
Yeah, like a heist story where you're supposedly playing as a really young Boba Fett, working your way through the 1313th level of Coruscant, which nobody's ever seen that deep in Coruscant ever. I don't even think people realize Coruscant's one giant mechanical planet. Like it goes deep into the planet. It's not just the surface area of Coruscant. I don't think people understand that or know that, which is why Trey and I would be on Star Wars shows. And it was going to be a really cool story, like that heist kind of criminal underground thing. And then Amy Hennig got put on the project when when Disney bought Star Wars. And it's like, holy shit, this is going to be great. And then I don't know, EA just they canned everything good about Star Wars.
Well, and I thought
To an extent
they were going to
canned.
take the Star Wars game and turn it into more of like an open world experience, but now it's saying that it's just been shelved.
From what Hennig had said, she went on in that interview a little bit further, but she had basically said that with the kind of game that they're trying to make now, it doesn't really fit in with the game that she was working on.
Sure.
Yeah.
She said hers was a very linear kind of Uncharted-like experience. And with an open world game, you can't repurpose a lot of those assets for it. It's
true.
So they might end up using some of the characters or, maybe do the idea, but it sounds like they're going with that open world games as service model.
Sure.
And
Which
so,
is
like
dumb.
everything else.
I
yeah.
don't
but
understand,
good
I
for-
don't understand why they need to. They
Good
have
for her
fucking-
for having her own,
They have the older public.
getting to do her own thing,
Yeah, good for her. Number 2, Halo is finally coming to TV. Showtime has announced a series pickup for the Microsoft title under the working name Halo, surprisingly. Kyle Killen is serving as executive producer, writer, and showrunner, and Rise of the Planet of the Apes director Rupert Wyatt will helm multiple episodes and is also the executive producer of the series. The show will feature 10 hour-long episodes. I thought it's
10 hours?
Man, so did you guys ever? I mean, you
All of
probably
them.
didn't.
I've seen all of them,
Seen all of what?
all the live action Halo things,
They're shit.
and they don't work.
They're not great.
There's some things in this world, in the video game world, that will never work as a TV or a movie, and Halo is one of them.
See, Halo would work if you could afford a movie budget on every episode of a fucking television show.
Maybe,
But like with the way that they did the live action stuff, it just doesn't.
maybe it's just some things are too fantastical of a world to work.
The one thing that I could see working. Say Microsoft and Showtime came to me and they were like, Trey, we need you to make a Halo TV show. What are you going to do? I would 100% do just the beginning of Fall of Reach, where it's all about getting the Spartans together and like training them, sending them out on their first missions. Because it's just humans versus humans. You
I
just
was
do
going
the
to
whole
say,
insurgency
basically
thing.
just a military kind
Yeah.
of...
At the end of every episode, I hint to the Covenant, and then the series ends with like first contact. It'd probably end because you could do first contact. That's easy. By that time, the budget would be big enough. I could do one episode every season where the humans run into the Covenant, but it would end with like the Battle of Reach starting. That's what I would do because it's really fucking easy. Just humans fighting humans, but no one ever takes the easy idea. They're going to do like the overly complicated thing where you have like the fucking elites that are wearing like the goofy costumes and they just look dumb.
Yeah, I like I said, I think some things are just too fantastical to work unless you have the right budget. Like Game of Thrones did it perfect. For the first 3 seasons of Game of Thrones, you never saw anything. Like even when a big battle happened, you never saw
You
it.
saw the
You saw the
dragons for maybe
yeah.
like a total of 20 minutes.
You saw the aftermath of the big battle, and you saw the dragons for, like you said, maybe a $10,000 worth of visual effects for it.
Yeah, well, I don't really... Like, I'm not a big fan of Showtime, like,
I don't think I've ever
shows.
seen a Showtime show.
So...
One of my favorite shows is on Showtime.
Which
okay.
one?
The one that I can't remember the name of.
Awesome.
Favorite show.
God, what the fuck is the name of that show? I'm gonna look it up.
But it had HBO like pick this up, I would have a little bit more faith in it.
Even HBO, I don't
HBO's Game of
see. Yeah, but Game of Thrones is very much based in reality.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't know. I trust them more.
No, I just
I
don't-
feel like they hit it.
Shameless.
Shameless.
I
Well, that
fucking love Shameless.
Sure, but Shameless is also just a bunch about fucking
Just
ghetto
druggies
white
and-
people.
Yeah,
no,
It's like
yeah,
it's
you're-
easy to do.
You're not
It's like
wrong.
Master Chief is just
Yeah.
hooked on meth.
Yeah.
fucking you get what's his name, William H. Macy, just to jack off on camera all the time. Like that'd be easy to do.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have high hopes.
I don't
But
either.
we'll see what
It's
happens.
hard. Like when was
That's all the Halo
Name-
Infinite series.
name-
The teaser for Halo Infinite. It was
Sure.
just advertising this.
name a sci-fi movie that is as fantastical as Halo and tell me what worked. Because you can't say Star Trek or Star Wars because those are super based in like a very reality type thing. Not really Star Trek, not so much, but definitely Star Wars is more of a Western.
Space Troopers.
Space Troopers, what the fuck is that? You mean Starship Troopers?
Yeah,
that did not work. It
that
was
one.
terrible.
I mean, it did work, and it worked because it was
it
terrible.
was so fucking terrible.
love that
But that's the thing
Something
is like
Halo that
sci-fi
worked.
is really fucking hard to do and make it very, very doable.
God,
Make
it's such a good point because all the things that I'm thinking of, like best sci-fi movies, are things that are like lower budget,
yeah,
where you
and
hardly
it's like
see the monster,
yeah,
like
it's like
Alien.
Sure,
or
exactly.
Predator.
Star Wars, Alien,
Star Wars.
Predator, Star Trek. Even like even the new J.J. Abrams things. Those are really like. It's very like huge movie budget quality, like crazy stuff, but you don't ever see anything crazily fantastical like brutes and elites and forerunners and Halo rings. You don't see stuff like that because it's very much based in a type of reality.
The Cloverfield Paradox did pretty well. I enjoyed that one. But
Yeah.
it wasn't super like fantastical.
But it
either.
also had that horror leaning on it.
Yeah.
I think, which helped it. I think it helped make that movie work to a certain extent. There's a certain amount of like weird bullshit you can get away with when it's a horror movie.
And then like maybe Pacific Rim, but like I enjoy Pacific Rim, but it's terrible.
But,
I
like,
think it's
Pacific Rim 2 was
But
god awful.
Pacific Rim isn't a I don't like.
it's not like a sci-fi that you
I wouldn't consider that sci-fi. I
Yeah.
would basically consider that like light
Sure,
anime.
yeah.
It's like Transformers. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
consider
it's-
Transformers a
Yeah,
sci-fi.
it's really the only time I've ever seen Halo not in a video game work was the Halo Legends, where it's all animated. That
Yeah.
worked. That worked really, really well.
Red versus Blue.
There we go. Got him.
That was on TV.
Yeah, I'm.
It was on TV for a little while.
All that to say, I'm 100% in agreement. I don't have high hopes for this at all. I have a very good feeling it's going to be terrible.
Number 3. You guys will like this one. State of Decay 2 is celebrating passing a 3 million player milestone with a new DLC pack available for players to purchase now. The Independence Pack, which costs $4.99, includes new weapons, vehicles, supplies, and fireworks. The DLC also includes zombies dressed in American Revolution garb. In addition to the DLC pack, Undead Labs is also deploying Update 2.0, which adds 20 missions, close to up to 10 new weapons, and a new rare bookseller.
Cool.
The update content is available to all players.
Cool.
Neat.
Yeah.
America.
I thought it was cool that they have already within a month they've released 20 new missions.
Sure.
Gives people fun stuff to do.
Also,
Do you think being acquired by Microsoft helps that?
No, I feel like
Give them a little extra cash.
no.
that'll help State of Decay 3.
Yeah.
Fair point.
I don't think them being acquired by Microsoft makes any difference at all. I feel like Undead Labs was a much smaller team when the first game came out, and they spent a long time supporting that game. So it's not surprising to me that they're already like looking to support it.
Yeah. I think it's awesome that they've reached the 3 billion player mark. However, how many fucking copies have you sold?
How many of those are
3 million.
real
How many of those are
players?
actually people that paid $30 for that fucking game?
Or who played more than 14 days.
Yeah, sure. Fuck, man. No, it would not played more than 14 days because I did not pay for the fucking game.
I also,
God,
I just thought it was.
fuck.
I also thought it was funny too how Microsoft and Undead Labs are like, "Thank you all for playing our game. Here's more shit you can
Yeah,
buy."
seriously.
Like, why not just release that DLC for free?
Sure. Well, some of it
Because 3
is
million
some of
people
it is
haven't paid
free.
for it.
Well, okay, update 2.0, which includes the 20 new missions, 10
That's-
new weapons.
that's free.
And the Red Book
Yeah.
Seller is free. The Undead Pack
Right.
and the zombies dressed as Revolution people.
Right.
That's not free.
Yeah, yeah, but again, I think we're of the kind of the same consensus. The game was $30 and or free if you're paying for the thing. $5 for a little bit of extra content's not that big of a deal.
It's not the content, it's the way that you announce the content.
Sure. Okay.
Like, thank you for buying our game and playing it.
Here's
now
more
buy
things
more
to
shit.
buy. Yeah, sure.
Like, why not just say, hey,
Sure.
here's new content. Enjoy. Have a good life.
Because this is America.
Thanks. In other State of Decay news, looking ahead for State of Decay 2, Microsoft announced that another DLC called Daybreak will arrive in September. Daybreak puts players in the shoes of a well-equipped Red Talon soldier in a new horde-like mode that challenges players of protecting a fortified position against waves of enemies.
Good lord, we would die so quickly in that.
Yeah.
I don't.
We sucked when if we were to get like attacked by more than like 4 or 5 zombies, it was a fucking shit show.
But-
like
I
it was
watched.
real bad.
It was also super buggy too. So,
Yeah, that's
'cause there was,
true,
like,
yeah.
I was like, I'm stuck. Like
That's true.
I couldn't get out of the animation of like closing a door, so I was like, I'm gonna die. I don't know what to do.
I feel like. I guess I don't know what DLC you would add to State of Decay 2, but this doesn't sound like the kind of DLC I would want from this game.
I think a horde mode would be neat. I mean, the whole game is a horde mode, like to an extent. It's
Yeah,
not
but-
like waves of things coming at you, but,
But
you're doing the same.
your main objective is not to defeat waves of enemies.
No, it is not. It's to survive.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's
I don't
really
know.
a base management.
It
thing.
is more of a base management game than anything.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know what I would do. I don't have a better suggestion. But
Yeah, I
when I
don't
saw
know.
horde mode, I was like,
I think adding more like, Undead Labs. I know you're listening. In State of Decay 3, I think adding player customization would be great, and it would make players more invested into their characters.
Yeah, I was really disappointed whenever
Yeah,
you
Sure.
have to select like
Yeah.
a set character.
And I think more story elements would be better, because as far as the game goes, at least how far I've gotten, there's no story other than kill all the plague hearts in an area and the game's over. Like there's no give me Dark Souls, Destiny type lore where I find little things that hint toward the bigger story of State of Decay. Where did the virus come from? What are the you know, there's radio chatter and stuff like that, but it never really like forwards a story.
Yeah, well, I would love to, you know, because you know how you can find like more survivors and stuff
Yeah,
and bring them
yeah,
into
yeah.
your camp. I would love to find a survivor that, you know, maybe they're like passed out or knocked out or something. So you bring them back there. You have to wait for your medic thing to kind
Sure.
maybe wait like a day for them to wake up.
Sure.
They wake up and they tell you about like, oh, like my son was out there or something.
Sure.
So you got to go find them. Or say you bring back
I
someone
think-
and then you find out that they're like, maybe they're a part of like what
Yeah,
helped
so
spread the virus.
so like not
just-
not a randomly rolled survivor, but like actual survivors that are placed on the map and they
that
forward
have
a story.
stories.
Sure, yeah, that'd be awesome.
I feel like that'd be.
I think that'd be cool.
I agree. I feel like that's a very like. I feel like that'll be in State of Decay 3 for sure.
Especially since they have the AAA budget. However,
Yeah.
State of Decay 3 will also be $60, so it better be in there.
Well,
Yeah,
it'll also be on Game Pass.
I don't see them like adding that stuff in now.
No, I
But I
don't.
do miss that stuff from the game. But yeah. Next up on the list. Bethesda is suing Westworld game developer Behavior Interactive and publisher Warner Brothers, claiming Behavior stole its design, artwork, and coding from their game Fallout Shelter. According to the suit filed, Bethesda is suing Behavior for breach of contract, while Warner Brothers is being sued for inducement to breach of contract. Don't know what that means. In a statement to IGN, Warner Brothers stated, as one of the world's leading creators of intellectual property, including the groundbreaking television series Westworld, Warner Brothers has a deep respect for intellectual property rights. As such, the assertions by Bethesda Softworks that Warner's Westworld mobile game improperly used source code from Bethesda's Fallout Shelter are as surprising as they are unsubstantiated. I lost my place because I was trying to pronounce that word. Warner Bros. Has been assured by game developer Behavior Interactive that Bethesda's allegations are untrue and that none of Bethesda's code was used in the Westworld game. Moreover, contrary to Bethesda's baseless accusation, Warner Bros. At no time induced Behavior being the studio, to use the Fallout Shelter code in Westworld, end quote. Now, the amazing thing about all this is, the reason why I find this so funny is that the Westworld game has some of these same exact bugs that Fallout Shelter does.
Yes, that's the big thing in it.
No matter what this thing is, I side with Bethesda. Because it's Bethesda.
But like, it's just so
yeah.
funny to me. Like, how do you sit there and say that we didn't steal your code?
Well, the Warner Brothers is sitting there saying we didn't steal your code. Behavior's telling Warner Brothers this. So Behavior is literally like the 9-year-old who knocked over the vase.
It's like
and the
two kids are fighting.
And the parents got home and was
Yeah.
like, who the hell did this? And the 9-year-old points at his sister points at him, and then he points at the dog, but he's the one that actually did it. He's not going to own up to it because he broke a $2,000 vase. Of course he's not going to own up to it because...
but like, how much money do you think they're making from this stupid game to the point where
I didn't even know Westworld was a game.
well,
Is it a fucking shelter-based game?
it's like Fallout
Yeah.
Shelter.
But I must not understand the show Westworld in any way, shape, or form. I've never watched it.
So apparently
Same,
the
but I want
idea is that you're running the park, and so instead of the different levels of
What? The park? What park?
Westworld is like
Westworld.
Jurassic World, like Jurassic Park, but there's android people instead of dinosaurs, and so you are controlling the park. You are putting people in the park, and you are basically managing those people to make sure everything goes smoothly. Hold on. And then, so that's like the Fallout Shelter mechanic. Instead of having like the different levels of the vault where you're managing people, you're managing different sections of the park. Justin, what? Oh, it's fine. It's still recording. Remind me later. It's still recording. We're good.
Okay, I just didn't want it to like.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Chris.
you waited more than 5 minutes.
Westworld's not a fucking Western?
No,
What?
It is a Western, but it's a fake sci-fi Western. The park is a.
don't spoil it.
I'm not. There's no spoiler. Like, this
Okay.
is literally the premise of the show.
I know. I want to watch it. I don't know if he's gonna watch it.
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
want to watch it.
Yeah, this is the premise of the show.
Yeah.
It is Jurassic Park, but the park theme is a Western, and the people in the park like are citizens. They're robots that think they're real people, like living their lives.
And people
So like you walk
pay
in,
to go there basically.
you walk into the saloon, like you go into this park, you check your train into the park, you walk into the saloon, and there's a bartender who's a robot that looks very, very lifelike. That you can't even tell the difference between him and a regular person. And there's a prostitute sitting at the bar who's an android that will have sex with you. You basically can live out your fantasies in this park and do bad things without doing it to
it's
real
not
people.
like a tour. It's not like Jurassic Park is like a tour. It's something like
it's
something like
simulation.
rich people go to.
It's like Red Dead Redemption in real life.
No, that's still a terrible comparison. If I'm understanding this right, your comparisons are really bad. So it's where rich people go and they pay a certain amount of money to go and live out a Western fantasy life.
Yes.
That is not Red Dead Redemption.
Well, it kind of is because
It's like if you're playing Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah,
Like you're not in Red Dead Redemption.
It's like you're
But
playing
I
Red
do-
Dead Redemption in real life. Like there's storylines and stuff that are going on that are specifically crafted. There are characters and stuff. Like it's really like a video game in real life.
Okay, sure. That makes
Yeah.
more sense. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Anyways,
Wow.
This whole time you're just like,
I thought
it's
it was
a Western.
I thought it was a really cool. I love westerns. I thought it was a really cool western. One of my favorite movies is Tombstone.
Well,
It's
now it's a
fucking
mix
great.
between a Western and like a sci-fi.
So now I can
so
play
there you
Val
go.
Kilmer.
Westworld
and Doc
is
Holliday.
Westworld is one of the best shows on television. I also want to, for people that are thinking about getting into it, season 2 just ended on Sunday. Now's the perfect time to do it because season 1 and season 2, there will be a season 3, but they're pretty much their own stories. Like the way that season 2 ends, if they never made a season 3, I would be happy.
You should also go watch Supernatural because that is the best TV show on television.
Yeah, just
currently
wade through
watching it right
30
now.
seasons of that fucking show.
13,
thank you.
and it's 13 seasons fucking amazing. I
Man,
just
wow.
finished it.
I'm in a great season right now.
Just finished it.
Also, why the fuck? I've been like looking for updates on my computer because I know it hasn't been updated in a while. And so this whole weekend I was like, where are the updates? Where are the updates? Where are the updates? We sit down to fucking do something and it's like, hey, I need to update. And it's not even connected to the internet right now.
But that's what happens to Ev's computer too.
It's
Like he's
fucking
like
ridiculous.
What season are you on Supernatural?
4.
What's the big twist?
Right now,
Have Angel showed up yet?
yes, that's what we're doing right now. It got good.
So good. Have you
Spoilers
met, have you
for
met, Cass
Supernatural.
yet?
Yes,
Oh, God.
Cass and
It's so good.
Dean was like a
Jesus.
freaking like chosen one. Basically, I mean, he got brought back to life. And
It gets fucking crazy with Demon Sam. It's so good.
I'm
Okay,
excited for
let's
it. We just finished the.
go. So Dean went to hell.
It wasn't.
already.
Yeah, he went to hell and came back already.
Yeah.
It wasn't the black and white episode. We finished that one. There was one after that too. There was like the Transylvania, like
I think
the shapeshifter.
Actually,
There's one
I think
after that.
I think season 4 is where they start doing the where they start really breaking a fourth wall, like hard.
Is there? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think so. Anyway, go ahead, Drew.
Number 6, I think.
We'll do our Supernatural podcast
yeah.
later.
Korean company PUBG, a subsidiary of Bluehole, has dropped its lawsuit against Fortnite makers Epic Games. The PUBG owners originally filed the lawsuit earlier this year, alleging copyright infringement against Epic Games. Bloomberg reports that the lawsuit has been dropped, but it's not clear why and whether there was any settlement between PUBG and Epic Games. Both Epic and PUBG are part owned by Tencent Holdings, and Tencent has reportedly been nearing a deal to increase its PUBG investment to 10%. While it's unlikely a copyright infringement accusation could complicate that deal, the lawsuit would be difficult to prove and win, particularly when Fortnite has copied PUBG's ideas and not necessarily its content. Also, PUBG copied a billion other games' ideas. So, where does it start and where does it stop and who's suing who? Like, this is such a dumb thing.
There's no such thing as an original idea.
I think we should sue all the other podcasts about video games that started after us.
I agree. We can make so much
Hear, hear.
money.
So much money.
Yeah, I thought this was funny. I also thought it was funny because I didn't think about this, but Tencent does have stake in both companies. So, of course, Tencent doesn't want two companies that it's investing in.
It's that Chinese company, right?
Yeah, that owns like everything.
Everything. China, yeah.
But, of course, Tencent doesn't want its fucking investments
Of
suing
course.
each other.
Of course. Yeah, that would literally be like, I don't know what came first, McDonald's or like Whataburger, but that would be one of them suing each other because they made burgers and
Well,
fast food. It's like,
It also, like, from the Tencent perspective, it would be like if you two started suing each
sure,
other.
yeah.
Like,
But
this
then,
is
like,
not
to-
good for us.
To settle
I-
the argument, you're like, I'll pay attention to
Sure,
you,
yeah.
Chris, like 10% more than I am right now.
I never heard of Tencent before until they came up in this, and then I started looking up what Tencent owns. That company could own the world if they wanted to.
Are they like Google?
They own a shit ton of things, and it's crazy.
You just have to think about. Can you imagine how much money they have?
A lot.
Like, just think about like with all the investing that they do.
They are where people think EA is the like evil corporation. Tencent is worse. Like they're Abstergo in the Assassin's Creed universe.
EA is
like it's fucking crazy how much shit Tencent owns.
EA is like the Tencent's mentally challenged brother.
Sure, yeah.
All right, and last but certainly not least, I love this story, and I'll tell you why I love this story after I read it. But I just love this so much. At the Game Lab conference in Spain yesterday, Sean Layden, president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment America and chairman of SIE Worldwide Studio. How does he say that every E3?
Actually, I'd be cool with that. Like if I'm Sean Layden, it's like, I'm Sean Layden, CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment in America and chairman of SIE Worldwide Studios. Pleased to meet you. Every time.
Every time.
And PS4 system architect Mark Cerny delivered a presentation about the legacy of PlayStation. At the end of the talk, Eurogamer reporter Robert Purchase put the crossplay issue to Layden. Quote from Eurogamer: I thought it was fascinating you talking about PlayStation 3 flying too close to the sun. Your Icarus moment, you called it. And then PlayStation 4 coming back to be more back to basics, to be more about the players. But there seems to be an issue at the moment that Sony isn't listening to its players, or doesn't seem to be, and that's crossplay. Fortnite particularly. And I wondered if there were any plans to open it up. It seems to be Sony's not listening. Layden replied by saying he could offer one short statement. Quote, we're hearing it. We're looking at all the possibilities. You can imagine that the circumstances around this affect a lot more than just one game. I'm confident we'll get to a solution which will be understood and accepted by our gaming community, while at the same time supporting our business. I love how Eurogamer just fucking called them out. And I believe it was a public forum. It wasn't like an interview between. It was like there's a mic in the room at the end of the presentation, and this Eurogamer reporter comes up and says, hey, you want to talk about how you're for the players and everything, but you're not fucking listening to the players. How are you going to fix this? I just thought it was brilliant the way that that he did that.
That's awesome.
Sure. That's, yeah. But I mean, this isn't playing devil's advocate. This is one side of it. There's so many things that go into crossplay that I just don't think it's as easy as some people are saying. For some games, it is like Fortnite. Fortnite was the game that is that the one that accidentally like went live across the thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
But Fortnite has dedicated servers, so it's doable. Destiny, who is a peer-to-peer thing, I don't think the infrastructure for like Xbox to talk to PlayStation is a thing. I don't really think that exists.
When that Fortnite thing happened, I believe that Xbox players were playing with PlayStation.
But it's all on a dedicated server. That's the whole thing. Like Fortnite is a dedicated server, so everything's connected to that Fortnite server. That I get. That I totally get because everything's held. All the information is held on that server.
Well,
Destiny is a peer-to-peer thing. So if me and you are playing with each other, one of us is hosting. We're not connecting to an overall Destiny server.
I don't know how it works with every game. Like I can't speak to that, but I don't think the problem right now, although it should be, I don't think the problem right now is every game. I think the problem right now is Fortnite.
Sure, yeah.
And so I think the reason why people are frustrated about this has to do with
Minecraft, because Minecraft just went live across Switch and Xbox.
Yeah.
And they've been playing that.
They
up
really
too.
have, man.
Microsoft and Nintendo are just like making out over in the
they're
corner.
fucking jerking each other off hard over social media and fucking Minecraft.
I love it.
But in the case of Fortnite specifically, like I said, I know that all these things should be a big deal. But I think people are more frustrated because it's apparent that it can be done and it's fairly easy to do. All you have to do is hit a switch, and PlayStation won't hit that switch.
Right. I think so. I talked to you before. I don't know if I put it on the news last couple of weeks or whatever, but I saw a quote from an ex Sony exec. I don't remember who it was, but he said Sony as a whole. This was his quote. Not a quote. This is a summarization of his quote. Sony as a whole doesn't support crossplay because, and they're looking at it from a completely wrong perspective. They don't like the idea of somebody being able to buy a game on Xbox and being able to play on their PlayStation. And I think Sony is looking at crossplay in a in the completely wrong light if that is a quote that summarizes Sony's thing. Sony thinks you should only be able to buy the game once and play it across everything. That's not what people are asking for. People are asking for, I have a PlayStation, my friend has an Xbox, I want to buy it on PlayStation, he wants to buy it on Xbox, and we want to be able to play together. Now, I think what Sony would like is, I own a PlayStation, my friend owns an Xbox, I would like to play with them, and Sony would like, well, just have your friend buy a PlayStation, and then you guys can play together.
Right.
That's a business thing. I get it. I totally 100% get that. However, if they are under the assumption... They totally can be under the assumption, because let's be completely honest. If Fortnite 2 happens, right, hypothetically speaking, on Xbox 2 and PlayStation 5 and I guess still PC, whatever.
And PC.
Let's say Fortnite 2 happens and all of a sudden Epic goes, you only have to buy Fortnite once and you can play it on everything. That's bad for Xbox Play and PlayStation and PC.
Well,
that is bad for everybody, and that's an assumption that a lot of gamers would love to see. However, I don't think that's a huge consensus over gamers.
But I also think that like it hurts developers too.
Oh, of course.
I think that like it's not just a matter of hurting Sony and
of
Steam
course, yeah,
and,
yeah.
But I don't feel like anyone's asking for a single purchase. Like
I'm sure there's some people that are asking.
I think what Sony has a problem with
the
those
entitled people.
I think what Sony has a problem with though is the microtransactions.
Sure.
They don't like the idea of you going on your Switch and spending money on there. However, like none of that stuff really matters. I'm sorry, but like you have plenty of people that are playing on Fortnite on their PS4 that have never spent $1 on the game. Mm-hmm. The majority of people that are playing that game are probably not buying stuff.
Sure.
And if they are, they're doing it on whatever system they're playing on at the time.
But
I do think though that like for this to work across all games, Division 2, Destiny 3, Halo. Well, Halo's not a good example.
Nope.
Minecraft 2. I think the way that works is you buy a copy on every system, and I don't. I don't think that the average gamer minds that.
Yeah.
I have already bought a copy of Destiny 2 on PC and a copy of Destiny 2 on PS4. If I could just transfer my character between the two systems, I would be a very happy person.
Yep.
Well, I think the big thing is you have to try and make your your players happy. Like if you're not really giving your players like kind of like what they want, especially whenever it's so easy. Like I understand for games that don't have dedicated servers, it might be way more difficult.
I think it'd be a lot harder, sure.
Right. But in other situations where it could be as easy as someone just flipping a switch, which someone accidentally did, and it happened, you know? Like if you're continuously like going against the grain and just giving people like headaches and frustrations, people are just going to leave like your ecosystem. You know, they're not going to want to play on PlayStation 4 or whatever because they're not able to do what they want to do.
Well, especially if the other ecosystems allow you to.
Exactly.
Sure.
Like there's no like, if anything, you're going to be losing sales.
Sure.
For people not wanting to get a PS4 because they're learning that kind of you're the ones right now anyways going against crossplay.
Sure. Like, well, Fortnite's a free game, right? So that it's a good example because it is dedicated servers, but it's also a free game. And however, you still have to pay yearly for PlayStation Plus to play it. Mm-hmm. So that's something they're getting money for, which they didn't have to invest anything into. Mm-hmm. That's just free money for people. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there in the world that are on Xbox or PlayStation that downloaded Fortnite and didn't have Gold or Plus and decided to get Gold and Plus because they wanted to play those two games.
I know people like that.
Yeah.
I have friends at work they're a couple, and the boyfriend downloaded Fortnite and started playing it, and he had PlayStation Plus already. Well, the girlfriend wanted to play, but they can't play on the same console. Right. So they literally went out and bought another TV, another PlayStation, and
PlayStation
a year of PlayStation Plus. And she plays. They lay in bed with their two TVs next to each other, and they play the game every night before they go to bed.
That's something PlayStation profited off of without investment. Mm-hmm. So I kind of understand where PlayStation's coming from, but I also understand where a gamer's coming from because we're all gamers here.
It's just so it's so frustrating that these things could happen.
Sure, I have said multiple times that I would have been day one Destiny PC if I could take my 400-hour Warlock and get him onto PC, but I'm just not going to invest that much time into another platform in a game like that.
I think more people are. I don't think people would look at it as like, oh, if you want to play with your friend who has Fortnite on PS4, then go out and buy a PS4. I think more people will be like, okay, then I guess I'm just not going to play with them.
Sure,
like
of course.
That, like I feel like you lose more sales that way than you actually gain.
Maybe.
You know,
I mean,
I don't
there's an example right there of them gaining sales because of it.
Yeah, I just
Sure,
I don't know. I
possibly.
feel like a vast majority of people like I'm not going to go out for me personally and buy a whole console just to play a game with a friend. Like,
But you're buying a PS4.
for the single player games,
And
the games that are exclusive.
and that's what I was going to get at is Sony doesn't have to comply to what gamers want because gamers are still giving them a shit ton of money because of games like Horizon, maybe not Days Gone, Last of Us, Spider-Man, God of War. Sony's banking because of their single player thing, so they don't necessarily have to listen to the players that want them.
But they should, because they're not relying on like online play in these big multiplayer games to keep them going.
Because they don't have to.
But
But that's what I'm saying. So there's no reason. They're like monetarily, the amount that they're getting for like online play is not as big as like, you know, like Xbox or something. Like Sony has so many great IPs that sell their consoles. They don't have to rely on these things.
But Sony's playing a different game right now, because I think someone brought this up and I hadn't even thought about this, but I thought it was a really good point. I think it was Arthur Geese on Rebel FM had basically said like this year was a really lame E3 because we're getting ready for new hardware. A lot of the games that are being developed right now can't be talked about until probably next year when the new hardware is announced. And Sony's in a position right now where probably by the time that the new consoles release, Microsoft Studios will be in full gear, and we'll see some of these new exclusives coming out. Not only that, but they have been way more consumer friendly than PlayStation has towards the end of this console generation. A lot of the services that are provided on Xbox are things that gamers really want that Sony's not doing. And then on top of that, you have crossplay or crossplay.
Sure, crossplay.
Which is something that Xbox has that Sony doesn't. Like, if we end this generation and we're moving into the next generation and the Xbox is the more consumer friendly device that allows me more ways to play with my friends who aren't playing on the same platform as me, and Sony is still a closed system like it is now, I will switch over. I've already done it. I switched from 360. I was a 360 diehard fan, would debate all day long about why the PS3 was garbage, and I switched over because the PS4 was better for gamers. And I'll do it again. And there are other people like me that did that. The reason why PS4 sold so well in the United States is because they're more informed consumers, and they convinced their friends to switch platforms too. All these people will switch back if given a reason to. So Sony has to start preparing for that.
Sure.
Because every time someone gets really arrogant at the end of a console generation, they fuck themselves over the next one.
Sure. But again, a lot of things like Fortnite is a good example because it is dedicated servers. I would assume Rocket League is also probably dedicated servers because you can do PC, Xbox play, can't you?
Yes, you can.
So-
and they've already come out and said like if PS4 and Xbox like would
Sure,
want,
they
if
can
they
do
want to
it.
play ball together, it's easy
Sure,
as hitting a switch.
but then again, like it's also not strictly on. That's where I was getting at before. It's not strictly on the developer. It's not strictly on Bungie to say yes, we can. Like, let's just do it. It's not always that simple because, like I said, then this is Bungie's fault for not having dedicated servers. I don't know. That's the only game I know of off the top of my head that doesn't have dedicated servers. Actually, you know what? Division doesn't have dedicated servers either. So Division also would not work with crossplay. And that's why like Xbox Game
We're
Pass.
assuming it wouldn't work. We don't. I mean,
Sure, we're assuming, but I think my assumption can be at like 99.9% because they're not dedicated servers, which is also why Division on PC, Xbox Game Pass doesn't exist. You don't get it on PC because it's not going to work.
Well, and I think too, like, to be fair, I don't think I know that I personally, as a gamer, am not expecting every game to support crossplay.
Of course.
I know that there are some people that are, but I'm not that person. What I want are the games that are already supporting crossplay to do it on every platform.
Right.
yeah, I think that's my pain. That was my main point.
Sure,
It's
of
like
course.
I understand, like
I do agree with
it's
that.
not going to be possible in every game,
Yep.
and that's fine. But for games like Fortnite,
So Destiny
like
Destiny
Rocket
subreddit,
League,
Destiny
Minecraft,
subreddit, shut the fuck up about it. Jesus Christ, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you. I think it would be great to have crossplay across all three platforms, all four platforms, since Switch does it too. I think it'd be great. And I think it's an ecosystem that definitely needs to be cultivated because in 10 years, that'd be great.
It would just be nice to see there's so much like separation in like the gaming community, especially between consoles. It would be nice to see some crossplay between everything.
I would never want to get rid of that separation.
No.
Because I think, like I've said
And I
before,
don't think there's any
the
way you can.
trifecta of developers or the trifecta of Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo are always pushing each other to make something better. So
Well,
I
yeah,
would never want to get rid of
It's
that.
capitalism. I mean,
Sure.
it's you
But-
rely on competition to further progress.
Sure.
But it would just be nice to finally like not really have borders on everything.
Sure. It's the neutral ground in a war zone. It'd be really nice to have something
And
like
of
that.
course, Fortnite would be that.
But
and Minecraft.
crossplay is mutually beneficial for everyone, because you're not reliant on players on a particular ecosystem to continue to play to draw people in. It's the same thing with that PlayStation Plus thing we were talking about earlier. If suddenly people stop playing Fortnite on PlayStation, you'd have this really small player base, and people would eventually fall off because there's no one to fucking play with. But if you have 4 consoles that are all cross-play on there, you have a reason to keep subscribing to your PlayStation Plus, because we've talked about this before. Sony's fear about people owning the game or owning microtransactions on one thing and then transferring it over, it's kind of unfounded, because the majority of gamers don't game in multiple places. We are the minority. We play on PC and a console. That's not most people. Most people don't play games the way we do. So the fact that like you're pulling 3 other different player bases in to support your online ecosystem, you're still getting more fucking people subscribing to PS Plus instead of just quitting and not playing anymore.
Or that gets you to play these games longer. It's like
Sure.
for me, like none of my friends have Rocket League on Xbox, so I usually just play by myself, and I'll play like a couple matches. If I could match with someone who is playing on PS4, suddenly they're playing longer, I'm playing longer.
Sure.
It helps both ecosystems.
Sure. Going back to the actual quote, I think they handled that quote. Layden's the one that actually said something, right? I don't have the notes. I think he handled that extremely poorly. Like the end of it was like, I'm sure we'll come to a consensus that our players support. Like, no, you won't.
No, you
Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, and that's the bigger thing about this whole conversation is that as much as we've been talking about this and like having this conversation, I don't know that anything is going to change. And if it does change, I don't think it's going to change.
It's going to be 2020 before we actually see a change. We're not going to see a change in PlayStation 4.
And
we're not.
It's going to be one of those places. It's just going to be one of those things where in order for any substantial change to come here, someone has to get really hurt.
We can't even change our fucking names on our console. You kidding me? Get crossplay? Fuck off, man. What the fuck?
All right, guys. Now, I included this because I know Chris likes to do this.
But now you like to do this.
Now I like to do this.
That's how it works, right?
I actually was not ready for this. The list of free Xbox games with golds for July 2018.
I just like comparing the two. I think it's funny.
I have both of them on here.
Because you guys get the fucking jip every time.
We usually get like one that we're like neat.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I mean,
and you're like neat about a game that came out in 2008.
All right, so July 1st to the 31st, you get Assault Android Cactus.
What is that even? What is that?
I don't know.
Which console is this?
This is Xbox.
Xbox 360 or Xbox One? I guess they're both, but
Doesn't matter.
What
Yeah.
the fuck is that?
July 16th to August 15th, you get Death Squared. From
What is
July
that?
1st to July 15th on Xbox One and 360, you get Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown. And from July 16th to the 31st on One and 360, you get Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Conviction. Assault Android Cactus.
What is that?
Why do you do this to me, Xbox?
Yeah, you're like, it's not too bad, but this
No, I get
Man,
to-
that one was shit.
Now I get to play as a war cactus.
Now,
Android Cactus, thank you.
the free games for PlayStation Plus are as follows.
One of them is I'm pretty excited.
Heavy Rain on PS4.
What is the...
Absolver on PS4.
Absolver actually is very cool that game's going free.
What is Absolver?
It's that one.
Is it the Devolver one?
Yeah. It was that one
With,
where
like, the martial arts?
Yes, where you wear the masks and it's all like PvP melee type stuff. It looks really cool.
Call of Duty Black Ops 3 will still be free for a little while.
Oh shit! I forgot to download that. Fuck.
Rayman 3 HD for PS3. Deception 4 The Nightmare Princess.
I have no idea what
PS3.
that is.
Space Overlords on PlayStation Vita, and Zero Escape, Zero Time Dilemma, which is I've heard is a good game, also on PlayStation Vita. So yeah, that's it. That's the news.
I mean, let's be fair. Heavy Rain came out like in 2008 or 9.
You say Harry Rain?
Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain.
However, Absolver is a Devolver Digital game, and it came out last year sometime, August of last year.
Yeah, I want to say you're right.
And I don't think it garnered a whole lot of attention.
It did at the time that it was announced because
It looked super cool.
the way that it was kind of pitched was like, this is Devolver's first foray into anything like AAA game development.
Yeah.
And of course, the game came out and it was more like B tier. But
It definitely was.
But that's not bad.
No, but it's definitely got like a cool. It puts a whole new take on. It's a fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically if you took Virtual Fighter and put it into an open world RPG.
Okay.
It's pretty neat. It's a really cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't got a chance to play it, but because I'm not a huge PvP guy, but this is a game that I could get behind PvP wise.
Also,
it just looks cool. It has a cool aesthetic.
Also, Heavy Rain is a great game
Of
if
course.
you've never played it before.
Of course.
If you played Detroit Become Human and you like that, Heavy Rain is, I think, better than that. It's a little rough. There are some things that are really awkward in 2018.
It's true.
But it has one of the best twists in a video game. I just fucking love it. I love that
Also,
game so much.
naked virtual boobies.
I don't know if you actually see the boobies.
Oh yeah, you do. You see her full frontal.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, it was probably just blocked out of my mind for the protection of my games.
I like the idea of
like-
Microsoft just like, people really wanted a new Splinter Cell game. Well, let's just go ahead and
Let's
get
give
this
him conviction. Let's give him the worst of the 5 Splinter
Is Conviction
Cells.
the worst?
Yeah,
I liked Conviction.
I think Chaos Theory is the best, but that's an original Xbox game. I don't think they can just.
I mean, is it worst in the sense of like these are all good things and this is the least good, or is it worse in the sense that like it's a bad game?
Yeah, no, these are all really good, but this is the least good.
Because I really liked Conviction. I never played Chaos.
Oh
Theory,
no, you know
though.
what? Blacklist is probably the least good.
The least
I would
good.
I would rate Chaos Theory the third one, third one, second one, first one, Conviction, Blacklist.
It's crazy how you were a Ubisoft fanboy before I think Ubisoft owned.
Oh, 100%,
Tom
dude.
Clancy's stuff.
Yeah, like I've been Ubisoft fucking hard dick for years.
I don't like that.
I don't know where I was
I've
going
been
with that.
Ubisoft.
hard
I've been Ubi hard.
I've been Ubi hard, baby, going Ubi hard.
This week, that Life of Awesome Captain Sparkle
It does
came out.
It came out the
They came out on,
26th.
like,
yeah.
Life of Awesome Captain Sparkle.
Yeah,
I love
That
that.
sounds like Trey's game.
yeah.
Yeah.
That came out this week.
So
too.
in Destiny 2, they have this awesome emote that's called the firework emote, and it's great because it looks like your guardian is throwing glitter, and then he does like a little dance.
He doesn't do a dance. He like
throws
jazz
glitter.
hands?
he goes like this, whoosh, whoosh, and then there's like fireworks, but then he goes like this.
And it's awesome. It's like the gay bar emote.
Yeah,
I love it
is
so much.
Like I do it, and I look at my guardian doing this. It's like, I don't like using this term, but that looks really gay. Like,
I love it. Like my favorite thing.
but just like literally, like
like
not even-
literally, no, yeah, like literally, it just looks like he's enjoying himself at a 4th Street club.
My favorite-
literally, what it looks like.
my favorite thing is when someone in the game does something stupid, you just go. And then you stop the emote.
I really. I like as he was going into that. Did you hear his voice change a little bit? He was
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah,
"You
he
just
got-
go.
yeah.
You just, you just go."
Trey's gay voice.
Yeah, it starts to come out
It
whenever he
comes
does
out
it.
every now and again. It comes out when I'm drunk and hanging out with a lot of girls.
Oh.
And it comes out whenever I start to do anything effeminate. When we were in Pennsylvania, we went out to this. We went out to the bars that were at State College, and I had like 3 or 4 drinks, and then I started talking to my friend Allison, and then her roommate. And her roommate goes, "Trey, you sound like 50% gayer than normal." I was like, "Oh, I'm comfortable." But yeah, that's the news. I had an idea for topic, but we did start a little bit late. Did you guys want to talk some more?
How long are we?
We're at about an hour and 20 minutes.
What was your topic?
What was my topic?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
We talked about crossplay for a little bit.
I feel like we're good this week. I think
Okay,
we'll
that's
come
fine.
back with
Yeah, that's fine.
a new topic. Also, I think we're like almost out of fucking storage this month because
Makes sense.
the episodes we have done have been really long.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
That's
all right, guys.
surprising. We missed like 2 weeks.
I know.
That's weird.
I think.
And we haven't even put up the E3 episodes. That's weird.
Everett, if you're listening to this, stop listening to this because I'm gonna like say something and you're gonna take it as I'm criticizing you, but I'm not criticizing you. But I think Everett edited one of the episodes, and I think the way that he mixed it down, it was just a lot bigger file than we usually have. Because the quality on it's amazing. It sounds really fucking good.
I don't know how any of that stuff works.
If you guys like what we do, please rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes and the Google Play Store. You can follow us on Twitter at Twinstick Radio or on Facebook at facebook.com/TwinstickRadio. We are all on Twitter as well. I am at Darth Trey. Chris is at Short Change Hero with a 3 instead of the E in Hero.
By the way, Daniel and Justin found out where my name came from this past week.
Yeah.
You've said it before to Justin.
I don't think I ever have.
It's from that song, right?
Yeah, because he was like, "Oh, like they both had that
It's a
thing."
nice little thing.
And Justin is at Justin T. Lopez. Where does your name come from?
My mother.
Was that a mom joke?
My mom.
Your mom.
Oh
Where's
my
your name
God.
come from? Your mom.
So this guy posted on Twitter, and I think it's gone viral since then, so you guys might have seen this, but I just thought it was so fucking funny. And this guy posted on Twitter, he was like, sometimes I worry about today's youth, but then today I was at the mall, and I heard some kid say, your mom was so fat Thanos had to snap twice. And he was like, and I had faith again. That is the best your mama joke.
Spoilers.
From whatever.
If you haven't seen that, that's on you.
But that's like the best your mama joke
That's
since
great.
I was a kid.
That is awesome.
And the show is usually produced by Everett. Give him a follow on Twitter at the 56th. All letters, no numbers. Show's edited by Connor. Follow him on Twitter at Connor13, one N and Connor13 spelled out. And check out the stuff he does for Downstream Studios at downstreamstudios.com. Hire him to add Chris dinosaur noises into your next.
Nope, that was worse.
I like how all the dinosaurs in your mind sound like the screaming goats.
See, if you pay for the
Actually, you know
Chris yelling, you also get 2 free fart noises.
I really do.
Actually, you know what? I can do the thing that does the thing, and he's like,
I really do. I really want to take the first Jurassic Park trailer and recut it with all of Chris's dinosaur noises.
I'll do all those noises.
Yes.
Yeah, like I can like
and then the scene where they find like the big pile of poop and like doesn't she puts her arm into it or something?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get Connor to do that. We'll use some of his porn noises.
We'll get you to just go as the arm's going in. It's just.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
I just want a
Bye,
Chris
guys.
soundboard of all his noises.
I don't make a lot of noises.
You make a lot of noises.
I don't make a lot of noises.